Hello, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about the file transfer and the related protocol, which is file transfer protocol. So let's look at the agenda. We are going to give you the concept of remote logging. After that, file transfer protocol or FTP, as it is popularly known as. Then, how is the connection made over the control connection? After that, how the connection is made over the data connection. Then there is a concept of anonymous FTP. We are going to learn about that at the end. Let us understand the concept of remote logging. Remote logging means logging into a computer which is not at your local site. So, non-local site. Suppose there is a user at this site and the user wants to access a computer which is at this site B. Suppose this is site A, site B. Let's say this is the server computer and the user wants to access the server computer which is not at the local site. This is the concept of remote logging. So the user has to have one of the user ID and password to log into the server computer and then access its resources. After that, the result will be fed back to the user at its local site. It will seem that at the server, the user is actually working at the server. So this is the concept of remote logging, and remote logging is basically used with the help of Telnet. Telnet is known as the terminal network. So let us understand what Telnet is all about. So as I said, Telnet is terminal network. It is a protocol with the help of which remote logging is possible. Let's understand local logging concept, then we will go to remote logging concept. Let's say there is a terminal at this site, site A. This is the operating system. This is known as the terminal driver. These are all the application programs. So you see, when at site A, the user at terminal wants to access any of the application programs, it has to send a message to the terminal driver at the operating system. Then the operating system will understand with the help of the keystrokes which application program the user at terminal of site A wants to access, and accordingly it will be redirected to that particular application program. So this is about local logging. What about remote logging? Remote logging means here, as before, we have a terminal. Let's say this is site A. So here, this is again the operating system. This is the terminal driver. And here we have the Telnet client. From the Telnet client, there are different levels, like this will be the application layer, then the transport layer, then the data link layer, and the physical layer. Now, when the keystrokes go from the terminal to the operating system, it feeds the keystroke to the terminal driver. Accordingly, it understands that this is not meant for the local client, but rather to a different server at a different site. So it goes to the Telnet client. From the Telnet client, it goes to the various layers of the TCP/IP protocol. So and then we have this data going to the internet, and it reaches site B. Here again, we will have similarly the different layers like the physical layer, data link layer, transport layer and the application layer. It goes to the telnet server. From the telnet server, again, this is the operating system. It goes to a pseudo terminal because its application programs are meant to get information from the terminal driver. So here we can have a piece of software which acts as a terminal driver, but we call it a pseudo terminal driver. And these are the various application programs. Based on the particular keystroke, the particular resource is made available to the user at terminal at site A from site B. So this is the concept of remote logging using telnet client and server. Now here there is a term which is called network virtual terminal. What is the meaning of this? Network virtual terminal means this telnet client can have a character set which is different from the character set that is accepted by the telnet server. So this NVT or network virtual terminal converts the character set at the telnet client to a general NVT character set, and when it reaches the telnet server, it again gets reconverted back to its own character set. Let's understand in detail what NVT is all about. NVT stands for Network Virtual Terminal. So this is the client, this is the server, this is the terminal, and this is the pseudo terminal. So this is the character set of local computer. Let's say it is 0 with all the other numbers. It goes to the client telnet, converts it to this is the internet. It goes as NVT character set, reaches the telnet server, and then it is reconverted to the character set of remote computer. It can be different. So this is the concept of remote logging and the NVT. Telnet uses only one TCP connection, and the server port that it uses is 23, and client port is ephemeral in nature. Let us understand what FTP. File transfer is a very important concept and service of the internet. It may seem that transferring file from one computer to the other computer is very easy, but that is not a very easy task. Why? Because the two computers may have different naming conventions, like naming the files. They may have different text handling and data handling capabilities, and they may have different directory structures. So FTP or file transfer protocol is used to handle all these problems. There are two connections of FTP. One is for data connection and the other one is for control connection. Basically, in the data connection, data or the file moves or gets transferred from one computer to another, And in the control connection, there is some control information in the form of commands and responses. These are very short information, one line commands or responses, which basically controls the data. The ports used for FTP are two in numbers. 21 port is used for control connection and port number 20 is used for data connection. Let us look at the basic model of FTP here. We have the client here and the server here. This is the file storage media. We have the user here. There is the user interface. This is the control process. This is the data transfer process at the client side. Then we have the internet over here. This is the control connection. This is the data connection. It goes to the server end. Here again at the server end we have the control process and the data transfer process. So this is the basic model of FTP. The user, with the help of the user interface, with the help of the keystrokes, it goes to the control connection. With the help of the control connection, the computer knows which file to access from which server through the internet, and after the control process, the data transfer process takes place. That is, file gets transferred from the server end to the client end. Let us understand control connection over control connection. So this is the basic structure. We have the client here at one side, at the server here at the other side. At the client we have the local code. Also at the server side we have the local code. And as we have seen in the previous slide, there is a control process, and also at the server side there is a control process. There is a connection between them, and what passes through this, through the internet, is the NVT ASCII character set, because the local code has to be converted to NVT character set, and along with that it is basically the control information. Control information is converted to NVT character set. It goes to the control process of the server and gets converted to the local code for the server to understand what the client wants. So this is the connection over control connection. Let's see connection over data connection. So local data type and structure is there. Then after that, at the client end, we have the data transfer process. This is the data connection path going through the internet. Now here, the file type, the data structure and the transmission mode should be defined by the client. This particular entity goes as data through the data connection, and it goes to the data transfer process at the server end. Here at the server end, the local data structure type and data structure, it is converted to this local data structure, data type and data structure type. Now you see here how will it define the file type? The file type can be of ASCII, can be of EBCDIC, or it can be image type of file. This is the EBCDIC type of file which is used by IBM. Image is the default and ASCII is the 7-bit character set. Now there are three types of data structure. One is the file structure, second one is a record structure, and the third one is a page structure. If it is a file structure, then the entire data will move in byte streams. If it is a record structure, the bit streams will be divided into record, and if it is a page structure, it will be divided into pages. Now there are three types of transmission modes. One is the stream, second one is the block, and the third one is the compressed. Stream means all the bit streams are sent one by one. The block means the bit streams are divided into several blocks, and these blocks are then transferred. And compressed means if the file or the number of bits is very large, then it should be compressed. Now there are different types of file transfer possible. One is from the server to the client. Here the client is retrieving file from the server, and in order to do so, it uses RETR command. Then we have the client to source. Here the client is sending file to be stored in the server, and it uses the STOR command. Many a times a list of files or directories can be sent from the server to the client, and in that case the list command will be used. Anonymous FTP. In order to get access to FTP, you must have a user ID and password. That means you are a registered user for that particular file transfer site. But many a times it happens that non-registered users want to access files. In that case, they may be given this facility, but in a limited condition. And in that case, the user can access the file transfer protocol of the particular domain by using the user ID as anonymous and password as guest. So this is known as anonymous FTP. To summarize, in this video we have learnt about the concept of remote logging with the help of Telnet or terminal network. Then we understood what file transfer protocol is all about, and we also understood the term NVT or network virtual terminal. Then we looked into connection over control connection. After that, we looked into connection over data connection. Last but not the least, we touched upon anonymous FTP. Thank you.